What's going on, everybody? Welcome and good morning to another episode of the Wrestling Hour right here on adfreeshows.com. First, and of course, on the MyFandom YouTube channel in a couple of days. Dave Sturchio alongside Josh Shernoff, the best color analyst in the business, the best heel manager in independent wrestling, the number one just do-it-all guy, Josh Shernoff. Josh, how are we doing this morning, bro?
Man, my ego is doing really well right now. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And thank you for the very kind post that you put on social media.
Hey, man, listen, I'm one to wear my heart on my sleeve and give appreciation where it's deserved and or warranted. Not so much like man, they deserve this post. No, it's like more like, man, I just want to show that I'm grateful because today, as a matter of fact, as we record this and goes ad-free shows on January 15th, 2 years ago today, you made me official with MyFandom. So
wow,
it's yeah. So it's been quite the journey. It's been quite the how the hell the 2 years pass already. I don't know how. But
I gotta say, man, my room smells amazing from all the flowers you've given me. So no, hey, look,
your gimmick. I get it.
Here's the thing. We've talked about before. It's not. I was listening to Matt Cardona's Ariel Helwani interview, and
Great
he said
interview,
something that, absolutely awesome. And he said something on there. He hates the word deserve, that he's earned opportunities. And I just love that because that's the thing too, right? Like there's so many people who think they're deserving of it. Like you and I aren't deserving of anything. We worked our asses off to be where we are now, to get these opportunities. And then that's just a piece of the puzzle, right? Because if you shit the bed on the opportunity, well, all right, then it didn't work out for you. So it's step by step. But I loved when he said that. It's so true. So yeah, man, I mean, everything, 2 years, the fact that 2 years have flown by is insane. But, look, you've earned everything. It's going back to when we first started doing this stuff, when you were just doing Chop Sports and it was just on the network there. And it was, you could just tell the passion, the energy that you brought to it, the professionalism. So yeah, man, we're just rocking and rolling. We are just getting started, and we have a pretty big announcement that we're gonna make.
Yeah, we can hold off on the announcement until the very end of the show to make all you ad-free show guys sweat it out a little bit. I'm talking of the little Jimmy Sorensens and the Joshes of the world, not so much Shernoff. There's like a lot of Joshes.
There are a lot of Joshes, a lot of coaches. Some of the coaches are Joshes. It's great, it's a great community over there.
It is a great little family. And be sure to tune into everything adfreeshows.com has to offer. We're just a small, very small part of such a massive lineup that these guys put out there each and every week. So definitely check those guys out. But yeah, we were talking in Josh. There's been a lot of moving parts with the world of professional wrestling. Netflix is now 2 weeks in. We can get into Raw in a little bit, but I think another successful show. Only 2.5 hours this time. They just kind of, went off the air, and I was just like, oh, that's it, huh? That's cool. Because now with no network, you don't have to. You're not constrained to Law and Order after Silk Stockings or anything like that. You're not required to bounce off and get fined. It's just a program that you stream and you're tuning into, so they can do whatever they want, which is great for the writers. I think Triple H is just like, hey, you write the show as you see fit, and we'll just go with that.
This is like the type of thing you see on streaming shows a lot of time. Like if you go and you look at it, like if it's a network show, I don't remember exactly. I know it used to be like 42 minutes or 44 minutes would be like an hour show, because you'd make the space for commercial breaks and whatnot. But now if you look at shows that are streaming, man, it's like this episode's 48 minutes. This episode's 56 minutes. This is like they're telling the story that needs to be told. And this is an opportunity now where I feel like you are going to have so much less fluff in an episode of Raw than you have in the past, because they're not looking at it going, okay, so we're about 10 minutes shy of what we need for this segment. What do we want to do with it? Like, or, hey, this segment really could use some room to breathe, but we have to go to commercial at this time. And so, I think it just opens up a whole new opportunity.
And to Chris Van Vliet, who was the one kind of bringing it up on Ask CVV on all those episodes, he was wondering about the commercial breaks of something like this. And they're treating it as, listen, these are our sponsors. This is how much they paid for. Notice how, like, Fortnite wasn't in the middle of the ring last week. So I'm just like, where they tapped out on the the original episode. Like, we'll give you every coin and skin we have on Fortnite.
Well, I mean, look at it though. That it makes sense, right? Like, if you're gonna put your money towards something, you're gonna put it towards the main episode. I wouldn't be surprised if Fortnite comes back, but you're gonna put it on that main episode because it's very unlikely in the near future that they're going to have as many eyeballs as they did on the first episode. It's just is what it is, right? No matter how good the episode was or whatever.
That's every first episode of everything. So
yeah. I mean, I watched it live. I did not watch this past week live because I kind of went back to okay, I'll watch it when I have the time. But that first episode was like, okay, I'm making the time for this one to do it, so.
Yeah, and it's like I said, it's a great format. The stars are just making their appearances left and right. We finally got Gunther on camera. We got the debut of Penta. We'll get into all that, but Josh, there was somebody that's been missing for the last 2 weeks. Okay, and as a Pat McAfee stan, I've been called Pat McAfee. I've been called Fat McAfee. I've been called a lot of things because of how much I like. That was a Chris Steeler thing. He's a jerk off. But he, Pat McAfee has obviously reclaimed the throne as the color analyst for Monday Night Raw next to Michael Cole. Now, normally for me as a fan of McAfee, I'm just like, let's go. This is great. I can't wait. He brings the energy. He brings the pizzazz. He brings that little off the cuff, just great entertainment by Pat McAfee. He's got the gift of gab, hence he's got the biggest show in the world, right?
Right.
Signed by ESPN, all that good shit. College game day, you name it, the guy does it. He doesn't sleep. He's like me, a lot more money.
Wipe your drool.
Yeah, well, I love the guy. I think he's great. And I owe him. I owe him a little bit.
Yeah, I love him. I respect. I want to kiss. I love him. He's just.
And listen, once upon a time, he put my business over, and it put me on the map as far as a media company. So I was.
He's
very
great.
excited.
I mean, dude, he's awesome. He's unique.
Again, well placed. I don't want to say well earned, right? Well placed by Triple H and WWE to put Pat McAfee back with Michael Cole. Now, the problem is you did have somebody there for a little bit of time who's been through the ringer as far as his professional wrestling career. His career was shortened. Whether it be concussions or whatever else. But then to be basically, the tweet said itself, to basically be told your dream is over, but now you got to go chase another one and be really good at it. Because I actually really like.
I want to read. I brought it up here, so can I read his tweet?
So this is obviously we're referring to Corey Graves and his recent tweet to the world.
So he tweeted, "Imagine chasing your dream, then being told, not deciding, that you are no longer physically able to pursue your dream. Then you dedicate your life to something dream adjacent and being pretty fucking awesome at it. And then when it's time to enjoy the fruits of your labor, being told you are not famous enough for your own job, just in case you've been wondering where I've been." He followed it up with another tweet. "I've got a lot to say. Don't miss NXT tonight on the CW tonight. Microphone emoji, fire emoji." So, if I may, I want to.
Well, I need information. I need a backstory here.
Okay.
Only because I didn't see it because I was watching a different show last night. Did he show up on NXT?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay, so
all right. Should we Google this and make sure? I don't believe.
Well, no. What I'm saying is he probably is the company guy, and he's probably like, "Hey, listen, regardless, go tune into NXT because that's where I work. So go tune in." So you shed some light
definitely microphone and fire definitely made it seem like. So there was speculation. Oh, is he gonna have a live mic? Is he gonna say something about it, or is he just being like, I got a lot to say. Tune in, and hey, when I'm on the mic, it's fire. I almost feel like now I kind of want to Google it to make sure.
Yeah, no, I'm on it. So give me your
Right.
thoughts at least about the original tweet, and then we'll figure it out. Well, I'll figure it out.
Well, so here's the thing. Like I checked to make sure, because I didn't watch NXT, but I checked to make sure that he wasn't on it, and I did not see any sign of him being on it.
I'm not seeing it either.
His brother, Sam Adonis, had also put out there that this wasn't a work. There was a lot of speculation right off the bat that this was a work, that this was, he's been cleared to return to the ring, and this is the start of a storyline or something like that. By the way, even if it's not a work, doesn't mean it won't find its way into being a work, right? If they work things out, if things are cool, hey, maybe there's an opportunity for something. I want to start by saying I have the utmost respect for Corey Graves. I think he is beyond talented at what he does. I think the fact that he did kind of fall ass backwards into this career and ended up becoming one of the best to do it speaks volumes of his talent and his dedication. Okay? So I want to say that because the next part's going to probably piss him off. So, look, I don't know what's going on with him. I don't know what's going on in his personal life. I don't know what's going on professionally backstage. I only see what I see on the TV, and I see what I see that he posts on social media. So everything I'm about to say is based on that information with the understanding that I don't know anything, right? And I'm giving an opinion because that's what our show is, and we're going to discuss it. But based on the information I have available to me, here is what I think. So if I were to write a post, if I were to be annoyed and decide to write a post, I could write, imagine chasing your dream. He's referencing dream as a professional wrestler. I also chased a dream as a professional wrestler. I wrestled down in OVW. I pursued that dream. Then being told, not deciding, that you're no longer physically able to pursue your dream. I don't know how many times I talked about it or whatever, but I had some severe neck issues. And between being told by WWE, if you're not Matt Sydal or 6 feet tall, we're not hiring, and then having neck issues that I still have to this day, I was pretty much, that was that. I wasn't going to be able to continue wrestling. So I feel that. Then you dedicate your life to something dream adjacent, being pretty fucking awesome at it. So after a little break, I personally ended up kind of falling ass backwards thanks to Bill Apter saying, hey, you want to come host my YouTube show with me for fun? And then, hey, you want to come back and do it again and again? And then, oh, you want to do a podcast together? And then I get a call from the Blue Meanie. Hey, you want to host my podcast with me? And et cetera, et cetera. And now I have an offer from Fight and all of that. And I think I've become, if I'm going to be on the same level of, that Corey Graves is of his own self-worth, I think I've become pretty fucking awesome at what I do, right? As a commentator, as a manager, which was dream adjacent. That was not what I wanted. I have an action figure. When I grew up, all I wanted to have as a kid was an action figure, a wrestling action figure. I never really dreamt of it being in a suit, holding a microphone, right? So it is what it is. And then when it's time to enjoy the fruits of your labor, being told you're not famous enough for your own job. Well, peel back the curtain. I have been told on numerous occasions that, oh man, no, we love your stuff. I think you're phenomenal. I think you're great. This one kind of has like this big show on YouTube, and this one kind of has that. And, we're kind of going with, the company really is looking in the direction of the people who are bringing a following with them. Yeah, don't get me wrong. We think you're better, but you don't really have that outside following. So I say all of that to say that I relate in my own way to everything he's saying. Now, he has been busting his ass on WWE television. He has been killing it. He's been doing premium live events. He's been doing Raw. He's done SmackDown. He's done all of that stuff, right? So he ended up getting kind of demoted in a way, okay?
Mm-hmm.
The issue I have with it is you're there. I feel like there was a parallel in my career with him, except he got an opportunity that a guy like myself, a guy like you, who can also say the exact same thing from your issues, from getting concussions, from things like that, and then falling into the, hey, why don't I just commentate? And oh, by the way, Dave Sturchio turns out to be one of the absolute best play-by-play guys in the world of wrestling today. So I feel like everything I just laid out also describes you and your journey and your career. And yet, much like me, you have not been given some opportunities in the big time because, well, you know, and we love Pat McAfee, but you and I are not bringing the numbers and the eyeballs that Pat McAfee is, understandably. And it's business. I get it. I get it completely. If I'm running the business, do I want to bring in this guy that is phenomenal but might not move the needle? Or this guy that's a guarantee that 100,000 people extra or 1 million extra people are going to tune in to check it out? So I get that. All of this is to say, this was not appropriate or professional to go on social media and bitch about it. That's my feeling on it. And if it's not a work. And the reason I say all that is in our position, and you and I aren't alone in this, there are other people in this industry too. Jonathan Coachman made a point that there's like 3 to 5 people in the business in this position, like at the top level, actually making a living doing the type of things that we do. He also made a point that Jim Ross was bumped around 5 times, that Coach was bumped around multiple times, that this has happened. Michael Cole. This has happened time and time again. So I guess I don't have a nice bow to wrap this up with, other than to say I completely understand where he's coming from in these frustrations, and perhaps those frustrations would be greater if you actually felt like you were carrying the load here and steering the ship in a lot of ways. And now, oh my God, it's massive. It's Netflix. We're going to move you to NXT because we really love Joe and Wade. So we're going to move them over to SmackDown and we'll put you in NXT. Which, oh, by the way, is where Wade Barrett spent some time. And oh, guess who else is there? 2-time Hall of Famer Booker T is on NXT, where he used to be on Raw. That's what I'm saying is, and then I'll shut up. But that is what I'm saying is, you're not the first one. Are you entitled to be frustrated? 100% entitled to be frustrated. Is there validity to your argument? Yeah, I think there is. Absolutely. But you're not alone in this. You're not even alone in your own company in this. You're not even alone at the desk you were sitting at on NXT the other week when I mentioned Booker T, or I mentioned the other guy sitting next to him that spent a cup of coffee on Raw. You have to look at the company in a bigger sense, and you have to understand where the eyeballs are going to come in, what's going to be the best fit. I just think it was inappropriate for him to go online and do that if that was him going into business for himself.
Well, Josh, you've been in this professional wrestling game for quite some time. You know how things work.
Measly 26 years.
Yeah, measly. And I'm only half that. So it's like, but together we've seen a lot of crap. Right? We've heard a lot of crap. We've seen the politics that go into professional wrestling. We see the ass kissing that gets people jobs. We see the diversity that gets people jobs. But there's a lot of different things that would land you a supreme gig, right? And that means working for a contract where you're set for the rest of your life, or at least you can call it your full-time job, right?
Right.
So the reason why I think this is a complete work is because I don't think Corey Graves, just like you stated, is unprofessional. I think he has rolled with every single punch that the WWE has offered him, meaning, hey, look, we can't clear you because it's a liability. So this is what we have to offer. And they offered it, and he took the ball and scored a touchdown, multiple touchdowns, right? WrestleMania coverage, everything. He's done it all.
Yeah.
That's why I don't think he's as frustrated as his tweet perceives. And all it takes is for him to say, text his brother, hey, listen, I'm about to do something.
Yeah,
just
kayfabe.
double down on it. Just double down on it, right? Because here's what I think is going to happen now. I think he's created enough stir and buzz in this rant of his that McAfee is going to respond. And I think we live in a world that at WrestleMania, you got Corey Graves and Pat McAfee one-on-one. And I know that sounds ridiculous, and it might not intrigue the wrestling community. It intrigues me. I watched Corey Graves in the ring. I thought he was fantastic. I've watched Pat McAfee do it for a cup of coffee, and the shit that he pulls off, I'm just like, how is this even possible? Now you start this storyline beef between commentators. What other company has done that? Nobody, right?
Yeah.
So like that's why I think there's something to it. Now I could be completely off base, and he could be very, very frustrated with his role. But again, to your point, I say, hey man, you're still there. Hey man, you're still getting a nice fat check every 2 weeks or however they pay it out. Hey man, you still have full-time benefits where, your wife, Carmela, who just gave birth to your kid, is covered and taken care of. There's a lot of us that don't have that luxury because we're not in that spot. So if this is real and he is venting his frustrations, I don't want to call it unprofessional because, again, I agree with the frustrations. I just don't know if I believe everything that he put in his tweet. And the reason why I say that is who, I sound like the New Day, who would say to his face, you're not famous enough? Nobody's going to say that. Not at WWE. Triple H ain't going to say that. Michael Hayes ain't going to say. The guys that are in charge, and Michael
I don't
Cole.
know. I don't know. I could see them saying not in a demeaning way, but
right?
saying,
So
listen, man, we need Pat McAfee on there. You are not on. You don't have the fame and notoriety that a Pat McAfee has, and unfortunately, that's the decision.
Once again, anytime I put on AEW for that 8 seconds on Wednesday just to see what's going on, sometimes I think to myself, there's too many voices. There's Excalibur, there's Tony Schiavone, there's Jim Ross, there's whoever else, there's whoever. Like they always have a
Daddy Magic, who I'm sure is a great guy and is doing a great job cosplaying as me. I think there's
So when I hear extra voices, I'm like, this is too much, right? So, but the WWE has it structured so well where if they wanted McAfee back and they thought Corey Graves added everything that he adds to the product, they could have had a 3-man booth and nobody would have said boo.
Well,
right?
Corey Graves, according to Coach, Coach was kind of booted out because Corey Graves didn't like the 3-man booth or something along the lines of that. He mentioned it on the Van Vliet pod. So,
well, again, it really is feel and it's sound, and how does this all come across, and will they step all over each other? Like, here's the thing. When WWE basically said, hey, you can't wrestle anymore, bro. It's not good for our company. It's not good for the look. All the CTE stuff that you got going around in the world of professional sports, you can't screw around, right? So this is what we have to offer. It doesn't scream the end of your career. He actually took this new opportunity and made it bigger and better than he probably would have as a professional wrestler. That's what I say about myself all the time. I say, just because I got kind of forced out where I was just like, you know what? My head keeps getting rattled. Like, this ain't good for me and my health. Like, I'm having more fun and have had more opportunities and have met more people and have networked my ass off and have bigger stages to perform on the commentary level. So I'm thinking to myself, I made the right decision. He's probably in that same boat. the decision was made for me, but I'm really taking big advantage of this stuff. So I think that if this was the truth and McAfee was the guy and they're like, look, it's a 2-man thing. I'm sorry. And oh, by the way, SmackDown, we're kind of covered over there too. They could have gave him an ultimatum. Hey, you can go to NXT and hang out with Booker T and the other guy, right? And I'm sorry if I ever missed the name. I know he's been with Raw and stuff, so it's not like I'm disrespecting. I'm just missing the name for a second. But, or you could do that, or like just once again, like I say this all the time about my career in particular, not so much like the commentary career, but like sports media. I got a lot of people don't know this. There was 416 people that tried out for the Brooklyn Nets public address announcer position in 2018 when they lost their guy, right? They lost their guy because he went to the Olympics or something like that. As far as like The Voice or whatever for boxing, some shit. So he left. They held an open tryout. There's 416 people. I went out there. I kicked ass at my audition, and I made it to the final 4. And I was like, oh, this is cool. Like, I'm about to be able to be one of the finalists for the Brooklyn Nets of the NBA, right? Next thing you know, I get a call. Dave, we're happy to inform you that we've chosen you. You're going to be the next voice of the Brooklyn Nets. Wow. I'm doing cartwheels in my kitchen. I'm like, this is it. Like I made it. This is what I've been working for. 2 days later, to get a phone call saying, hey, so this guy from Cleveland who's been doing all LeBron's games, he's going to step down in Cleveland. He's a Brooklyn native. He's got a massive following here. We're going to go with him, but if he ever needs a backup, we'll call you. And I was like, wait. Like I was like purchasing cars, and I was for those 2 days I felt like shit. I'm untouchable. It does happen. Yeah. The PR moves, they do happen, and unfortunately, they ruin people. And I could have went out and listen. To this day, I say, F the Brooklyn Nets. I'm a Knicks fan anyway, so F the Brooklyn Nets for what they did to me. But at the same time, if they said, hey, Dave, listen, you're not going to be the PA guy, but we do have this every home game stadium guy that runs around, interviews fans and all this other shit, just interacts with. We have that position. Would you take it? I'm like, yeah, it's the NBA. I want to work in professional sports. This is what I've been chasing. So for them, and I know we spent a lot of time on this already, but it's a big pressing issue, especially within our worlds, right? So it's like for him not to, what I'm saying, I say all that to say this. I'm pretty sure WWE could find a role for Corey Graves. And
I mean, they did.
Right. But I'm saying right now going forward, if there's occupancy is taken, right? And there's got to be another way. Look at Byron Saxton, bro. Guy was an in-ring guy, and he's still doing backstage interviews. You know why? You know why he's there? Because he's good at what he does. He's very satisfied with what he does. And he's going against the mold. You see, backstage announcers are typically really.
But is he? Female. But is he satisfied? See, that's probably we don't know, because he was at the announce desk. Now maybe he looks at it and goes, "Dude, I have the best job in the world right now. I don't need it." Or maybe he sits there and sees, oh, they're bumping out Corey Graves. Hey, maybe now's my moment. Oh, nope. Okay. I guess they'll just move this guy in or whatever. You don't know. And that's my feeling on, and that's why I preface everything by saying, I think Corey Graves is great. I have the utmost respect for him. And when I said that, if this was legit, I feel like it was unprofessional. I'm not saying I think it wasn't warranted. I'm saying that in this profession, I left a job. I won't go into all kinds of details, but I left a job that everybody knows I had. And I left with a letter, or, that I posted, one of those things I posted on social media, thanking that place for the time there, thanking my boss, all about the positives. And you, because you've had to sit in the car with me when I vented about things before, you know that I absolutely could have written a letter that was about 40 times longer and did not have anything positive about my experience and my choice to leave. But it is business, and there's a level of professionalism. When I was unhappy with certain things, maybe I bitched to my friends, maybe I bitched to my family, maybe I bitched to my boss, but I didn't go online and bitch to the world, because what is that going to accomplish other than make me look like a complainer? And it's not. So that's the thing, is like, again, my only issue with Corey Graves, if this isn't a work, if this is legit, my only issue at all is the way in which he chose to handle it. Not the feelings he has, because the feelings are warranted. Not what he even had to say, because, like I just laid out before in grave detail, you see what I did there? You and I can completely relate, and we're not the only ones.
Yeah.
But this is a business, as my best friend in the entire universe, Matt Cardona, would say. This isn't the wrestling business. This isn't the wrestling friendship. It's the wrestling business, which he quotes someone else anyway. But still, it's he says it. Probably, yeah. He quoted someone.
You can either make money or you can make friends, and I already got plenty of friends or something like that.
Yeah, but I think that was Kevin Nash. Man, we don't know. You know what? I'm just going to take it as my own.
Okay.
You know.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Josh Shernoff, Wayne Gretzky, Michael Scott.
There we go. I just, so to me, and just to kind of put that bow on this thing, Corey Graves is an incredible talent, but at the same time, the decisions you make when you say these things or do it, sometimes giving him the benefit of the doubt. So the opposite of everything that I was saying before is that you also don't know where someone's headspace is. You don't know what they're going through personally. You don't know, where their mental health is at that moment, or whatever the case might be.
Oh, imagine imagine the stress you're under when you don't know, like the world of your profession is completely unknown, and oh, by the way, you have a wife and kids to raise.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
But
so
but all right now. But all the point of all of it, that I could have just said so much easier and wouldn't have taken up 32 minutes of our show, is to just say I can relate to literally every single aspect on a slightly smaller scale than Corey Graves. With every single thing Corey Graves said, the difference is how you choose to handle it. And
I will say this, Corey Graves, best of luck. If that tweet stays up, then to me, it feels more of a work. If it goes away, then they've solved stuff behind the scenes and everything's going to be okay. It's just, he was having a moment. But you know what though, Josh? He sent that tweet with Cero Miedo. And we can segue into Mr. No Fear himself. Right.
And that is why you should be offered.
I mean, it's like, I sometimes I impress myself. But Penta debuts
rarely, but sometimes.
I know. Penta debuts on WWE. Looks like $1 million. You could tell just a little bit, just based off me being a nitpicker sometimes. Then I'm like, there's a couple things that, again,
there was the little springboard off the bottom rope kind of thing, but
that little leg drop thing.
But here's first of all, he covered it. Here's the thing that people also don't understand.
He's a pro.
Yeah, but what people don't understand when they complain about things like that is, number one, ring rust is real. And even if you've been working out in the ring, even if you've been every single day, twice a day in the ring, being out in front of a crowd, no matter how many times you've done it before, it doesn't matter. But also, we've heard this before. We heard this with guys like Booker T, Buff Bagwell, some of that, who came over from WCW. The WWE ring is different than everywhere else. It's bigger than all the other rings. They use rope, not cable. And some people would be like, well, so what? It's a huge difference. Massive. Specifically when you're doing some sort of springboard type maneuver. It is it's very different. So that doesn't bother me one bit. I will say it didn't
bother me either. I almost saw it coming, where I'm like, okay, there's going to be a couple things he has to get acclimated to, but overall, dude, the look is there, the attitude's there, the crowd was behind him, his whole family's in the front row. Like this kind of moment for him.
If I had to nitpick, though,
Uh-oh.
I did not like him speaking. I loved that he spoke in Spanish and got the pop that he got.
I mean, they're in San Jose, which is in like Mexico's back.
I think that was awesome. But when he started off and he was like, I forget exactly what he said, but he's like something like,
Jew,
hey, like,
Jew,
hey,
Jew.
yeah. But then he said something like, hey guys, or like we're you know, like I'm here, guys, or I forget exactly what he said, but there was something where I was just like, that look should not be a dude talking. And if he's talking, that's where it needs to be old school 1980s, deep kind of like, talk, like just Penta is such a,
that makes it hokey. No, like that's like,
I'm sorry, that's like, that makes it hokey. Not the dude with a mask and bones painted on his mouth, right?
No, I'm talking
doing
about
his little walk out to the like, dude, I'm sorry, like it's the presentation, and I felt like that initial part of him speaking lessened the mystique. Will it ruin him? Will it have any effect long term? Absolutely not.
I don't.
But in that moment, for me, maybe I'm.
Right, my opinion is I don't think they're looking for that mystique. Look at the greatest luchador of all time, no arguments, and that is Rey Mysterio Jr., right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no mystique about Rey Mysterio Jr. He talks, he's a normal dude, he wears the Mexican luchador mask because he's paying homage to his country, and that's it, and he's electrifying in the ring. There was never any mystique about Rey Mysterio, so because this guy puts on the makeup, with Penta and the eye context, my kids were like, whoa, look at this dude. So he is going to cater, because they let him speak, he's going to cater to a larger audience now.
I agree.
He won't be scary to the younger fan.
I agree.
Because he's talking. He's like, hey, I'm here, guys. This is my dream come true. I can't wait to keep delivering, banger after banger. And by the way, I have to, for just 1 second, give all the flowers. Chad Gable has been an absolute steal of a professional wrestler for the WWE. That dude sells his balls off. And let me tell you something. It's one of the, not since Nick Nemeth, Dolph Ziggler, where I'm just like, dude, this guy could sell a ketchup popsicle to a woman in white gloves. You know what I'm saying? Like, this dude, he is absolutely 100% one of the best workers in the WWE, and you can't tell me different. But go ahead about Penta. Sorry.
No, but just with Penta, I just felt, I'm not saying he shouldn't have spoken. I'm saying it was the delivery. Like, something about when he spoke in Spanish, there was this, and here's the problem with it. Because, and I'm somebody who, I can barely speak English. So I'm,
I was just going to say, isn't there any kind of nerves that go into this? Meaning, like,
right.
When you ask me to speak normal, I'm speaking normal. You're going to get my energy. You're going to get my drive in my native tongue. But if you're like, speak Spanish, I'm like, ¿Dónde estás los pantalones? And that just means, where are my pants? You know what I mean? Like this.
A question that you've asked so many times that it's really,
you don't even know if I'm wearing pants right now.
No, I think we all know you're not. But I think to me, the issue with Penta, when he was speaking in Spanish, for Spanish-speaking fans, it was like, that's our guy, right? Because he was able to have that intensity that, there I felt it. To non-Spanish-speaking fans, it had a kind of like a mystique because you don't know what he's saying. And you're just like...
Shout out to Pat McAfee, where he literally admitted, he's like, I don't know half of what he just said, but I'm very pumped.
Yeah, when he says something like, Penta said something, and then he's just like, damn right. But Pat had no idea what he just said. But yeah, that was tremendous.
That was great.
But
they should put him on Raw as a commentator.
They should. So, but speaking in English in the beginning, which I understand why he did that, of course,
Mm-hmm.
but maybe because it's not his first language, it didn't feel exactly how you described. If you were to cut a promo in Spanish, then people who speak Spanish are going to look and go like, this dude, like if you had to do that promo in Spanish, Spanish speaking fans would not they would not go, oh, Dave Sturchio, that dude brings the energy, that dude's a pro, that they would be like, okay. Like,
well, there's a reason why they call it like broken English. You know what I mean?
No, but that's what I'm saying. And I know we're belaboring this, but like, that's what I'm saying is I feel like I would have had him speak in Spanish. There was the one thing I think AEW got right, where it was like Penta says,
would you have signed on for a translator?
Yeah.
With him? Like, just
that's
like,
what I'm talking about.
What correspondent who has a suit on who's just like, I'm the translator?
Yeah. That's literally what they had in AEW.
It goes to show you how much I watch AEW.
Alex Abrahantes was doing it, and which, by the way, is one of the coolest guys you'll ever meet. He's just an awesome dude. But he would do that, and Penta would say what he would say in Spanish, and then Alex would go, Penta says, and then like would say the thing. And it was great. And I think that's what it, now that you brought, that's what was missing. Because Penta, how can I put this? He shouldn't be,
I just feel like this is a Vince McMahon thing where he's like, he's going to go like, oh, and we're going to cut a promo. And he's like, okay. And he says, okay, but in Spanish, right? Because it's the same thing. But he's like, he starts speaking Spanish and Vince just gives him the whole, like, not that language here, pal. Just like telling him, you got to speak English. And he's like, I don't fucking know English.
And the thing is like, but I'm just saying, like, I just think that they shouldn't have him speaking. They shouldn't have him speaking in English. Because when he speaks in English, he sounds like a guy speaking in English, speaking in kind of broken English, and like
dude trying to be another dude behind another dude.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like, and I don't want to see that. I want the mystique of Penta. That's all I'm saying. I'm nitpicking, but fuck it, that's what our show is. But that's it, because Penta, dude. Because the other thing that I will say is Penta is, I don't think since Rey Mysterio, Penta is going to transcend the masked luchador aspect.
And they've tried with so many, and it just doesn't ever pan out. One, because of charisma. Like anybody, well, I can't say anybody, but a lot of these luchadors are extremely talented in the ring, and what they could do in and out of the ring and flying all over the place and fast and just, I get all that, but like you have to have some kind of charisma, and boy, oh boy, does this dude bring it when it comes to that, because, just the presentation alone, I think like off the top of my head, like a Sin Cara, right? Mm-hmm. Sin Cara was out there just doing his flips, using a trampoline to get in the ring. Like, oh, that's so cool. It's so innovative. But then they're like, Sin Cara, you just won a big match. How do you feel? And it's just like, nope. So I think that with Penta, they can definitely build some storylines. Clearly they got one with Gable right now, which again, I can't say enough about the match itself, but Penta has made himself a home at WWE, and I think he's going to be a bona fide star. I really do.
I think and if he sticks to speaking in Spanish and Zero Miedo, then I think, that's it.
I downloaded Mikey Ruckus's theme song yesterday for him.
So listen.
It was him and Ray Phoenix, but like whatever, it was still cool when you just had to hear him screaming on top of my lung like Seattle, Miedo,
Dude, that's the one thing. Listen, my kids make me listen to that all the time, Mikey. And I a couple months ago, I texted Mikey and was just like, dude, my son keeps making me play this song again and again, so thank you, and also you're killing me.
Well, listen, but he's great at what he does. Once upon a time, he was going to make a theme song for me, but it never came to fruition. Instead, he doubled down on Sean Donovan. But anyway, look, Penta's going to be Believe it or not, Penta's going to be a fantastic star in the WWE. Speaking of stars, the stars are absolutely aligning. Josh, we'll touch briefly on this. The roster that the WWE is presenting to the Royal Rumble this year, right? Everybody's declaring for the Royal Rumble. On episode 1, you had Cena. Last night, you had, or 2 nights ago, you had Punk and Rollins and McIntyre and like all these guys. Like, by the way, CM Punk, and again, say what you will about him, he still has me blocked on Twitter, so he'll never see shit like this. But like, say what you will, the dude is so real and authentic. It's so funny. Like, he's just like playing my song, and then you hear "Burn It Down," and he's like on the mic. He's like, "Oh, for the love of God!" Like,
hey, you know who's not authentic but has me blocked on Twitter?
Oh, we got breaking news. Wow, what's up?
Con man something or a fuck.
Oh, yeah. You mean the paid reaction video guys?
The reactionist.
What are you gonna do in 3 days when TikTok goes away?
Oh my God.
Like, what are they? Well, honestly, I fear for those kids. I really do. I fear. Like,
yeah,
right now,
I mean,
1 million followers, and it can all go away.
Yeah,
like that. So I don't know what platform you're gonna jump on.
Hopefully, they've been building it somewhere else. But I do want to
block me too, because I retweeted that tweet and sent it to you, or because
you sent it to me, so I went to comment. I went to answer his question. He had an honest question. Do you guys just hate?
Honest question, but you can only answer it if you like me.
Yeah. Honest question. Do you hate the, reaction videos, or are you just jealous?
Oh, yeah. Super
and I
jealous.
was like, option C. And so I ended up posting it and tagging him in anyway. And I said, apparently I'm blocked, but I hate the disingenuous nature of it. And I hate the fact that our world celebrates people without talent. Like, that's my feeling on it. Is you're full of crap. There was a video AJ Francis posted of that dude's reaction to AJ showing up at Reality of Wrestling. And listen, I love AJ. AJ is a talent, a pleasure to work with.
Fight Factory Wrestling extraordinaire. Yeah,
yep.
Man.
Too many people are sleeping on him.
I agree.
But that dude's reaction was the reaction when fucking Stone Cold enters as number 30 at the Rumble this year, not when AJ Francis walks out at Reality of Wrestling.
Right.
Like,
right.
I'm sorry.
You can't love professional. Listen, we love professional wrestling because we've been around it and been fans forever. I don't think anybody loves wrestling that much.
No.
You know
I mentioned it in episode 1 of season 5 of So Shernoff a couple months back, where I said I have never reacted to anything with that much energy. Not the birth of my children, not that
I had kids. I didn't do that.
Yeah, it's not. It is disingenuous. It is just not real. It is not an honest reaction. And if it is an honest reaction, then buddy,
you need
calm
medication.
the fuck down. Like you're gonna give yourself a stroke. Because Naomi was glowing in blue instead of green, and you had a freaking aneurysm. Like, calm down.
Can you imagine like your wife's in labor, she's pushing it out, and you're just like,
wow.
Oh, wait, chat, are you getting this?
Oh man, send me coins and flowers and whatever and it's just
butterflies anyway. So I say all that to get back to the Rumble. However, that was a great little rant there.
But the Rumble, man, I'm actually worried sick now for him. I think he might die at the Royal Rumble.
Every
60 to 90 seconds, another explosion like he's Dave Meltzer painting his ceiling white watching a Young Bucks match. You know what I mean? Like, you can't. What's that? You remember the old popcorn ceilings?
Yeah.
Meltzer's house.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, I do fear for that kid's life. I really do. Like, he's gonna. You know what he should do? He should just put himself on loop and go watch the Rumble. Tape yourself for like 38 seconds and just keep fucking hitting 10 hours of it, and you're just gonna go, oh, chat, I can't believe this. At this spot, This is crazy. I can't believe it. Maybe he'll win. Maybe she'll win. Like there's so many things you could do about it. And again, the fact that one of my life goals now, even if I never get hired by WWE, is to actually sit down in front of a guy like Triple H, shake his hand, and say, "Man, you're great." You know what I mean? But that's it, right? The fact that Triple H went out there and retweeted all this shit and from the WWE, and he's on it, and like all these people are like, getting nuts about the pursuit. Remember when we said, "Is this hurting the business? Are they going to do away with it?" And all of a sudden, WWE is doubling down. So it's like, oh my god,
because they'll make anything that works even a little bit, they'll make it theirs, and I get that. And that's, I mean, WWE.
And they may have signed these people to some kind of deal where like,
I don't think they did. You know why? Because they're a bunch of marks, and WWE can use their content, because what are they going to do? Oh, you can't use my content. Oh, really? Would you like me to go sift through all of your stuff? Because whose attorneys are going to win in this one? So yeah, they got them over a barrel. They're not paying these people. They're going to pay that reactionist. And then there was that girl too. That girl,
Wheezy, Breezy, whatever, cover girl.
Yeah, Breezy Wheezy.
Beautiful cover girl. Yeah.
Listen, good for her too. She was kind of like, I don't know why there has to be so much negativity. Well, all right, there doesn't have to be negativity, other than the fact that negativity sells and it's funny, but. There doesn't have to be. When people are making threats, that's just stupid. Let me say this in a clear voice. If you are making threats towards any of these reaction video people, you're a moron. Stop. These I might find them annoying. I might find it insulting to those of us who actually work hard and have intelligence. I shouldn't say work hard, because they do work hard, because they do put the time in. All right, I am going to say that. They are putting the time in. They might not have any talent or ability.
When you live stream, it's really not that much talent. It's just, I guess,
it's not talent at all. There's no editing involved. There's no...
Here's my camera. There's no editing. It's just live streaming. So people.
But regardless, okay, well, fuck them. But the thing is, don't threaten them. Because at the end of the day, they are right when they say, pick up your camera and start going. If you think you can do it better. Dave and I proved we could do it better. We literally did. We faked a response, put a random video of The Rock coming back to the response that was on nothing, and it had people getting angry at us on social media, on TikTok, going, "Oh, I hate you reactionist people," and all that. It was great. So the thing is, we proved the point.
Videos that we've had.
Right. We proved the point.
Right.
And this is, so I don't blame them. I don't, to paraphrase CM Punk, I don't hate you. I just hate the idea that you're better than me.
Because you're not. Yeah. Well, listen.
But the Royal Rumble
so speaking of CM Punk,
stacked.
Yeah, the Royal Rumble is absolutely stacked. They can go so many ways with this, and Roman Reigns is in the Rumble. Like there's a bunch of guys in there that can absolutely take this. As we get closer to Royal Rumble, clearly we'll make some predictions, and plus we're gonna do a nice little free show live early on in the day of a Royal Rumble where we can kind of talk predictions and stuff. But like, man, it's been a while since you looked at a Royal Rumble and say, like, because look, the last 2 years, maybe not so much the first year, but the second year, I was like, oh, Cody's winning. Like to me, there was no other option.
I wasn't entirely sure, because they do have that they have Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, I know, but on Fight
so it's like, are they going to put them through more hard times,
Hard times, yeah. But no, I knew from jump. I was like, oh, he's in and he's winning again. Like he's going to finish the story, all that nonsense, right? So now this year, a lot. I say if there is a betting odds, you would think that CM Punk is probably at the top, but not by much, right? Because you could do it in so many ways. CM Punk wants to headline WrestleMania. I had this daydream the other day. I swear to God, when I was watching Punk do his promo, and I always date back to Paul Heyman owing him a favor, right? And I think that the favor could be very well like. There's either two ways you could do it. You can just, the favor is, hey, insert me in the main event since I lost the Royal Rumble. you need to get my ass in there, advocate for that, right? Or in a crazy situation, number 30 comes out, it's fucking Rey Mysterio, and nobody cares, right? And there's like, well, not nobody cares, but you know what I mean? Like, it's not the 30 that you're like, oh, I can't believe it, right?
Nobody cares.
Well, whatever the case may be.
But that happened once upon a time, and they booed Rey Mysterio. Yeah,
I know. So Punk's in there. I'm sure McIntyre, Uso, like they're all in there, and 30 people have already come out, right? And it gets down to the final two, whether it be Punk and Rollins or Punk and McIntyre, and it's just like, holy shit, one of these guys are gonna win. And all of a sudden, Paul Heyman shows up at the top of the ramp, looks back to the Titantron as if somebody's supposed to, and Brock comes out, not as an entrant in the Rumble, but completely just that's the favor. He's going to help CM Punk win the Royal Rumble.
You're still carrying water for a Brock return here. And listen, I could see Brock coming back. Here's what I think could happen. What if CM Punk loses? What if Roman Reigns wins the Rumble? And the favor is CM Punk being put into the match. And that creates a rift between Roman Reigns and his wise man.
Oh, I just said that.
Well, but I'm saying it better. So, but it creates a rift. But then Paul Heyman at the actual match at Mania turns on Roman Reigns. CM Punk wins, and now he's back to being a Paul Heyman guy. And CM Punk is now a heel again with Paul Heyman by his side. Roman Reigns is now the sympathetic babyface. It could
without
happen.
a wise man. Yeah, I think that's a story in itself, and it's great. But we'll get more into that as we go. Before we get out of here, big news coming up. I promise to God, if you're a Fight Factory Wrestling fan and you're hearing this at around, I don't know, 2-3 o'clock, be sure to follow Fight Factory Wrestling on Instagram and all the social medias. We got some big news coming and dropping at 5:30 today. But other news that we can absolutely tell everybody on ad-free shows first. Josh, we, I guess, did a decent job at the American Dream for GCW's event there. And now, just a couple months later, one of the biggest events that GCW has ever put on at the Hammerstein Ballroom. Josh, take it away. We got this. Let's go.
We will be hosting the live 90-minute pre-show beforehand, live from the Hammerstein Ballroom. To my knowledge, the pre-show will feature matches. So if you're thinking, oh my God, it's 90 minutes of these guys just talking, that is not the case. But we will be hosting it. We will be sitting down at the announce table. We are going to be a large part of the DNA of that pre-show for GCW. I am super pumped for this event at the Hammerstein, even though I have to figure out how to stream the Eagles game. I'm so excited for this because, having been a part of the first one, or adjacent to the first one, where I did a pre-show for Fight, that was a pre-recorded pre-show. It was cool. It was a lot of fun and everything. But to now be officially there, brought in by GCW, this is not a sponsorship thing with MyFandom. The last one was, and we were kind of there from MyFandom, kind of sent us through a sponsorship with GCW. We are here now for GCW. And to be able to be a part of that show and a part of that group on such a special night is incredible. It's rewarding for us, but it's also it's an opportunity once again for us to kind of show why we think we are as good as we think we are, and I love it. I'm very grateful to Brett Lauderdale for giving us this opportunity. And again, to go back to quoting Cardona, it's not that we deserve it, it's that we earned it. And yeah, I'm excited. We will be there live at the Hammerstein. And this is if you were an ECW fan or a Ring of Honor fan or this is this venue, this is hollow ground. This is downstairs from where Raw was. And for us to be able to do this, coming off of Awesome Championship Wrestling, where we got to work and call the matches, and I got to be a manager at the Mid-Hudson Civic Center, the MJN Center, but the Mid-Hudson Civic Center, such a historic venue, to be like, man, we really kicked off the year. How do we top this? Well, let's go to the Hammerstein Ballroom and let's host a pre-show for GCW.
Yeah, man.
The people versus GCW.
And it's funny because it's like, obviously this Friday it pulls on the heartstrings a little bit, where it's like, hey, the company used to give everything you had into it, is putting on a massive event in Rahway. Go check them out.
I think they might think I'm coming. I don't know. He never booked me ever, so I don't know.
I don't think he thinks you're coming. But WrestlePros is going down on Friday, and it's the first event in Rahway that I'll ever not be there. It stinks how it all plays out. Wrestling is a business at the end of the day. You got to know your worth. You got to know to stick to your guns on certain things. But if I thought that I was going to be having this FOMO for WrestlePro, I think I did a little better with GCW's big show on Sunday. And not to say that one company is better than the other, but I just think that this is a little bit more of an audience to us off the bat. Because sometimes a lot of those WrestlePro shows that we did, Josh, they never saw the light of day. So it's like we really, it was like a practice rep in front of a nice crowd, because they always draw nice. So it's like this one hits home a little bit that we're not there.
And listen, man, go. Look,
I almost envision, just so you know, getting hit up at the 11th hour, and I don't think I would. I don't think I would get hit up. I wouldn't have the choice.
Here's my take on it. And obviously I have a different relationship than you do with them, but loved my time there. Under the right circumstances, would have been happy to continue to work there. But you and I have goals for ourselves personally, and goals for ourselves as a team that didn't sync with what their goals were. And that's it. And unfortunately, we got put in a position where, we had to say, hey, this is...
And you know what? Full transparency. And it's almost like a public apology to you, because it's almost as if like you're bowing out because I'm bowing out. And I don't know if that's a thing. I don't know if that's your, like, if that's how you feel about this, but I just felt like, again, I gave 12 years. I decided not to work in so many places because I felt like I wasn't being loyal if I went anywhere else, even though this is called independent wrestling and everybody's an independent contractor. I stayed loyal to one company and did not venture out. And maybe that was to my demise of my career, because now I'm 39, about to be 40 this year. So now you're thinking like, am I running out of time? I don't know. But, kudos to you for having my back on this one, because I just feel like when we present them with a number and they come back and they just look at us like we are Medusa and have like 8 heads and different arms. And it's like, well, what? I was taken back. I was like, wow, I really didn't expect that response. I really expected, like, yeah, man. Hey, man, you guys have been there forever, bro. Like, let's do it. But no, we didn't get that. So, in that regard,
they offered me double.
No, now you might. Nah. Actually, the last time you worked by yourself, you got paid less. So, anyway.
No, look, to me, I'm just, I think, again, if you have an opportunity to go check out that show in Rahway this Friday, go check it out. Yeah. If it's streaming somewhere, the boys and girls in the back are going to work their asses off. The promoters are going to put on a great show. Mute it because it's going to sound like shit, but but no, look, it is what it is. We we have other things to do, and it's how I felt. Look, sometimes you have to leave certain places, and I think you and I both, it was more emotional for you, but it wasn't really much of a decision for me. I was there to work with you and to build what we're building together here. And it just, to me, it wasn't so much like well, if Dave's not here, I'm not here. It was more of just like oh, you're not doing it? Okay, I guess we're not doing it. Like, it's just not, like, it is what it is, man. Like, we're just, you and I think have really built something that stands out. And there are companies like an ACW and GCW that see value in us as a team and what our contributions are. And that's it. And we're open for business. Anybody who wants to work with us, man, we're willing to hear them out. And
as the great 15-time, 16-time world champion John Cena would say, if you want some, come get some. And with that being said, that'll do it for another episode of the Wrestling Hour right here, first on adfreeshows.com. Again, thank you to Ad Free Shows for putting us up. And, again, just getting to share that lineup with a lot of legends in this business. And it's been very, very cool. And we got a lot of cool things in store. And pay attention to all the social medias. Follow us on the Wrestling Hour on Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff. And then, we'll have some more news as we go. It's good so far. January's been pretty damn good to us, so let's keep the ball rolling. Tune in on Sunday on Triller first on the pre-show, which you'll see for free.
It'll be for free on Triller TV, but it'll also be, I believe, airing on GCW's YouTube channel.
Excellent.
So no excuse not to see it. We plan on knocking it out of the park. We got some fun stuff planned, and it's going to be a good time.
And I think I'm going to be the mystery seventh entrant in the ultra violent championship vacated thing. I just figured, you know what? Let's just do it, right? Let's crack a light bulb or two. Huh?
If I can just say, it took me, and I feel like such an idiot. One of their matches is a DLC match, and I'm like, what is a DLC match? And I'm like sitting there thinking about, yes, doors, ladders, and chairs, because they don't use tables; they use doors.
I love that.
And then I was like, that's phenomenal.
Much cheaper. It's much
tremendous. Hey, Baron Corbin was just announced. Baron Corbin or what is his name?
I don't know.
Tom Petcock or something. I don't know.
Tom Pettengill will be in the ring with Josh Barnett.
Yeah, and listen, Baron Corbin, man, is an athlete that I don't think any of us really have gotten to see. I think him and Barnett are going to kill it.
Sport.
And then Matt Cardona versus a mystery opponent. As Matt says, this match has been snake bit from the start.
As we, what does that mean?
Snake bit from the start means you're gonna die no matter what. It's just not gonna. This isn't gonna end well for you. Pretty much, there have been.
Oh, this was supposed. Was this?
It was supposed to be Ricky Starks,
okay.
And then it was supposed to be someone else, and then it was supposed to be someone else, and it's continuously. And I'm talking about ones that haven't even been said like publicly. There were supposed to be others that just kept falling through for one reason or another.
Can I give GCW Brett Lauderdale one name to look out for this?
Yeah.
None other than TikTok extraordinaire, independent professional wrestler, Tommy Invincible. Give him that chance. Give him that chance. And if you don't know who he is, Josh, because I know you're looking at me like, who is he just talking about? Do yourself a favor. Prepare. Get yourself a bucket of popcorn. Because boy, oh boy, does this kid. I don't know how to also explain. I had a conversation with Big Ben the other day about it. Big Ben Bishop. I was like, does he know there's so much involved here, but he's been politicking for it, so I'm on Tommy Invincible's side here. So we'll see if that happens. With Dave Sturchio, Josh Shernoff, this has been another episode of the Wrestling Hour. Tune in to GCW on Sunday. The World versus GCW.
No, it's GCW versus the people.
That's what I meant
versus G. The people versus G. Now you're getting me screwed up. The
I'm
World
looking right
on
at-
GCW was the first Hammerstein show. This is the people versus GCW.
That's what I meant. And if you haven't checked out their trailer for this, it is probably one of the better, well-produced things I've ever seen. And
Matt Cardona's his thing that he put together.
Great.
Is,
Everything they do, it's just crazy. Everything
that
they
just
do got the Brahma Bull
goosebumps.
The Brahma bumps.
But yeah, but guys, come in. Tune. You get to see Matt Cardona his last show before the Rumble.
The hell's that supposed to mean?
I don't know.
I almost texted him last night.
He's
I was
always
like, hey,
ready.
Man, here's a date, and I stopped my text. I'm like, I should probably wait till like after February 1st.
Hey, he's gonna be there. He's gonna be at the Rumble. Well, I won't say he's gonna be at the Rumble. Right. He's going to be at WrestleCon. So he'll be in town, and he is always ready.
All right. You know what? I'm always ready to shut this show down. We'll see you guys next time.
One more. I'm just kidding. All right. Bye, everyone.